Welcome to Cheat Code Nutrition, the podcast where science meets strategy to help you decode your body and unlock next level health. I'm your host, Ellie Young, functional nutrition practitioner and genetic testing nerd, here to guide you through the real root causes of fatigue, stubborn weight, hormonal chaos, and mystery symptoms the traditional system shrugs off. Whether you're optimizing for longevity, performance, or just want to feel like yourself again, you're in the right place. Around here, we don't guess, we test. We use functional lab work, genetic nutrition, and a no BS approach to precision wellness that works with your body, not against it. If you're ready to ditch the one-size-fits-all protocols and start working with your actual blueprint, this is your cheat code. Let's get into it. If you're health conscious but still stuck guessing, it's time to reset. Foundations Reset is my signature 2-session functional nutrition offer designed to help high performers, wellness seekers, and bio-curious optimizers finally get clarity on what's driving their symptoms. Together, we'll review your full health history, clean up your diet and supplements, and choose targeted functional tests like the GI map for gut health, genetic testing for personalized nutrition, or the Dutch panel for hormones, so you can stop guessing and start healing. If you already have labs your doctor gave you but didn't explain, I can review those too and actually turn that data into action, because the future of medicine puts you in control, and I'm here to guide the way. Ready to get started? Head to mycheatcodenutrition.com, or you can DM me Reset and let's build your custom plan. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cheat Code Nutrition. Today's podcast is about planting seeds of change for your January reboot. How to set the wheels of motivation and consistency in motion. Because let's be real, the holiday stress is creeping. The parties, the food, the treats, the late nights, the pressure to make magic, it all chips away at us. And our health priorities get bumped down on the priority list, right? The pressure and chaos of December, it can feel like permission to check out and start over in January. But that mindset sets us up for a struggle. And not to mention, drinking more during this time of year, it does a number on your sleep, your mental health, your gut health, which is all impacting your mood, your motivation, your immune system. So you're just kind of stacking the cards against you. And again, this mindset of, oh, I'll just restart my health kick in the new year once all the temptation is gone and things settle down. Because of course we can't imagine dieting or not drinking over the holidays because it feels like a sacrifice. I went over a lot of these challenges in my podcast last week if you want to go back and listen to that one, because I covered a lot of this mindset and how shifting from a place of feeling, like I'm sacrificing something to empowered can really help you get over that hump. But it's really interesting this time of year because we all believe that this future version of ourselves that's going to wake up on January 1st is somehow going to be more motivated, more energized, more mentally strong enough to take on the challenge of eating better and not drinking. And that all these other challenges that we are experiencing in the moments in January, they're just going to like settle down, right? The temptations of January really do just make it very clear how much pressure we have in our lives to drink, whether it's for stress or celebration. Those reasons become very, very loud in January, but they don't go away when it comes to, they become really loud in December, but they don't go away in January, right? We put a lot of faith in this future version of ourselves that's going to wake up in January, yet we do very little to prepare that person, to set them up for success, or to change the environments they're in, that we are in, that are creating the outcomes, the results we're currently getting in our life. And it begs the question, what is stopping you from being your future self right now, right? Those reasons are pretty loud. right? You're saying, oh, I can't because I have all these social events. Oh, I can't because I'm really stressed out right now. And oh, I can't, yada, 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 right? So last January, after we did dry January as a group, I did a dry January support group. I did a podcast on Benjamin Hardy's Be Your Future Self Now. I love this book. If you've not read it, please go get it now. It's one of the most uh, seminal books in my journey. And after, seeing how much growth that I've gone through over the last 5 years, it's almost better in hindsight to look back and see how these concepts applied to all the different versions of growth that I went through and that I'm still going through. And I feel like I'm more skilled and I'm more adept at these strategies now because not only do I get to look back and see where they were effective in my life, but I can now apply them moving forward and saying, oh, I see how this one really, really offered a lot of benefit to me. So I want to revisit some of those concepts and reapply them here with a fresh twist before we head into January so that we can really start planting these seeds of change instead of just saying, putting it off to a future version of ourselves that we somehow feel is going to be better prepared. I want you to start mentally preparing now and start shifting your environments now, your mental and your physical environments. Okay? Because we want the runway to January to feel grounded, not overwhelming. I want you to be approaching this opportunity for growth and change with excitement, with empowerment, not like, ugh, I have to do this thing. I have to detox. I have to change. I have to stop drinking. I want you to shift. And part of this episode is going to help you get there. Like, here are some tools. First of all, I want you to recognize the threats to your future self, this person that you want to become. These are the silent saboteurs that are derailing your motivation before January even begins. Let's name them now so we can totally disarm them. All right, number one, you have no future vision. If you don't define where you're going, where you want to go, you're going to default to who you've always been. You have to imagine a version of yourself that with everything you want, you have to actually create the neural pathway of like a person that you want to be. You have to imagine her. How is she waking up every day? How is she living her life? What does her routine look like daily? What is she eating? How is she sleeping? How is she relating to others? I want you to get crazy ambitious with how you want to feel, how you want to be going through your life. And when you're imagining it, you are actually creating a neural pathway, and the brain is going to start looking for ways to make this happen because it's seen it. What we focus on is how we actually start to see opportunities to do those things and to become that person, right? This is how manifestation works. It's truly that when you are focusing on the red car, you're going to start seeing red cars everywhere, right? That's that psychology concept. So when you start imagining this future self and really spend time visualizing the life that you want to live, all of a sudden you start seeing places where, hey, what's stopping me from doing that now, from being that person right now? Okay. I want you to get crystal clear on. I want you to spend time journaling about it because often putting pen to paper is, again, it locks in. It starts to make that neural pathway stronger because you, again, it's a brain trick. When you're actually putting pen to paper, it starts to it actually starts to connect brain left and right side of your brains. So that, again, these neural pathways of what you're writing, what you're imagining starts to lock in, and it also allows your brain to sample how good it would feel to be this person. And when you are sampling it and you're allowing neurochemistry to flow around who this future version of yourself is, it strengthens that neural pathway. And again, it becomes more achievable. Your brain starts to look for opportunities to allow this person to manifest, for you to become this person. All right, the next thread is avoiding discomfort. The holidays make numbing easier, right? Holidays are stressful. Holidays are challenging. A lot of family, a lot of pressure, a lot of old traditions, good and bad, a lot of baggage, right? And so trying to, make change during this time of year can feel really difficult because we're already experiencing a lot of discomfort, perhaps. But I want you to recognize that often this discomfort can feel like alarm signals in our brain. It can feel like danger, but it's not. It's just information. It is information, and I want you to get really curious about it, telling you, like, I am not comfortable. And instead of numbing that, I want you to really get curious about what it is you're uncomfortable with and who it is and what environment it is and what sort of message it's telling you in your brain. And instead of reaching for the drink, I want you to explore, how else can I take care of myself? These messages are important and we're ignoring them and we're tuning them out and we're ignoring our brain and our body by numbing these things. And oftentimes it's facing that discomfort is going to allow us this opportunity to confront the things that are most important in our life that do need to change, right? This discomfort is your brain's way of saying, I don't like this, something needs to change here. So don't numb it, listen, pay attention, okay? And we can't avoid this discomfort. We have to face it head on. And oftentimes we realize that moment when we think it's the hardest, the discomfort, it's actually like this big giant pool that you think is super deep and that you're about to step into and you're going to sink because you're like, I'm going to drown in this discomfort forever. And instead, what you do is you step in, you face the discomfort, and you realize, oh my gosh, it's just a couple feet deep and I can walk and I can wade through it and I'm going to be okay. And next thing you know, it gets easier and easier and easier. All right. So face the discomfort, be okay with it, and recognize that when you are uncomfortable, it means you are changing, and that is okay. If this was easy, everybody would do it, right? It's supposed to be uncomfortable because it is asking you to change. It is asking your brain to do something, to step out of this zone that we have considered safe, but it's not safe. Do you like the current results you're getting in your life? Do you like the way you feel? Do you like the way you're sleeping? Do you like your gut health? Do you like your mental health? Is that all swimmingly going well for you? Or could it be better? Right? So choose your discomfort. You're either choosing the discomfort of your current life or you're choosing the discomfort of change for something better. Next, uh, next threat to your growth is no investment in growth. And now this doesn't have to be like this massive money investment, right? But there has to be some sort of accountability investment. You have to have some skin in the game. Okay. And a part of me when I'm working with clients is me assessing their readiness to change is evaluating, how much they're willing to put into it. And an investment could be your time, it's your energy, it's your focus. And again, a lot of times people are kind of unwilling to prioritize their growth because they see it as something that is like frivolous, like self-improvement is just like, oh, it's not a have to, all these other things come first. But I would argue it is the most important thing because from there, from this self-improvement, from this self-love, from this self-care that you will no doubtedly embark upon when you start making choices to not drink and to start taking better care of yourself, comes this ability to take care of others better, comes this ability to take care of show up in your life, in your communities, in of service to others when you are prioritizing yourself. And so that sort of shift needs to happen, that you have to actually, and this investment could be just about prioritizing yourself, the investment in your growth. Your future self needs structure. Ask yourself, where am I expecting change in myself without commitment? Commitment is about the investment. You have to find a way to lock in and say, I am doing this. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. And I'm going to show up even though I don't feel ready because you're not ready. And confidence comes last. Confidence is something that we think we need in order to start, but it's actually something that we develop once we show up with courage. Once we commit, it's actually commit first. Then you build courage because you're showing up. Then you build capability because you actually start getting better at the thing that you're doing. And then comes the confidence. Those are the 4 C's of change. So, again, just dipping your toe in to free content or following some Instagrams online and things like that, and kind of just like vaguely, you know, saying, okay, I hope I can change. I'm going to try to change. You're leaving this wiggle room open of your brain to just keep defaulting back to the most familiar, comfortable pattern. All right. So find something that you can commit to in the new year, whether that's a group you join, whether that's investing in coaching, whether it's like a challenge at a gym. Find something that is going to give you structure of commitment and accountability. Because if you're not investing in your growth in some sort of form, whether your time, your focus, your energy, your money, change isn't going to happen. Number 4, we stay stuck in environments that don't support us. This is a huge factor that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. You can't heal in the same place that you got sick, right? What people, places, or habits are pulling you backwards, right? I, for a long time, really, really wanted these certain flowers to grow. They were hydrangeas. I was trying to grow hydrangeas, but they needed a lot of sun. And I kept trying to plant them in, well, my house doesn't have a lot of sun spots to plant flowers. So I had to give up because they kept dying. They just kept dying because I didn't plant them in sun and I just kept trying. And that was dumb. And finally, I converted over to succulents that can survive in the shade. And then my succulents are like floribunda. They look amazing in the shady spots. So this is kind of a bad example, but essentially, you have to plant yourself in soil, in an environment that is going to help you grow. If you keep showing up in the same places with the same old patterns and the same old habits and the same old people, and expecting yourself, your brain, to actually be able to perform a different habit, a different action, a different thought, to have different thoughts. It all starts there. To feel differently when you're placing yourself in these exact same, familiar places and patterns, it's just impossible. It's literally impossible for your brain to have a different experience. And if you do, it's just going to be so much friction and it's going to be mentally exhausting. Okay? So you have to recognize the environments that are cueing you to continue down the old same patterns and pathways. And you have to say, how do I shift myself into a new environment? All right? And it's not permanent. I want you to recognize that people always get so afraid, oh, I have to uproot my entire life. I can never go to these places or see these people again because they're too triggering for me. That's not the case. Eventually you build up so much change in your brain that you can go back and it won't be as challenging and it's not going to trigger you. You'll be like, that was an old, I recognize it still. I see it still, but I don't need to act. I don't need to act on it. Right? So embrace this opportunity to explore new environments and, create new habits, right? This is exciting. Get curious about who you are and who you want to be and where you want to go, right? This is all about crafting that future vision of yourself. Get familiar. Get curious about who do I want to be? What do I want to do? Do I want to keep showing up in these same places and patterns and same people? Or do I want something different? Do I want something better? And what does that look like? You have to be brave. You have to be willing to get outside your comfort zone. Maybe you're joining a new workout class. Maybe you're, calling up a person that you kind of vaguely knew and you're curious about becoming a better friend with them. You're like, hey, maybe you could go for a walk. Maybe we could go get coffee or something, right? Be brave. Get outside your familiar pattern and change your environment. All right, next, old identity loops. This is an important one too. If you say, I am trying to eat healthy, but your subconscious says, I'm still a drinker. that's going to work against you. You have to start identifying someone as, I am someone who prioritizes my health and I choose not to drink because that doesn't align with me thriving, right? I want you to fully embrace the identity of somebody who does prioritize their health and not somebody who's trying, who's struggling, who's still, but I really love alcohol. I've always loved the taste of beer. I've always loved the taste of wine, you know? If you're still identifying as that and you still hear those voices in your head, it's going to be really hard to shift into this new version of yourself. You have to write these I statements down. I am someone who thrives without alcohol. I'm someone who prioritizes their health, right? And see how that feels when you actually say that. I want you to notice the difference of how it feels when you actually say it differently, right? And you start to allow yourself to be that person. So get curious. I want you to write it down, a bunch of these statements. Okay? I am becoming the woman I want to be, or the man for that matter. All right, number 6, reactivity over strategy. Okay, this is a big one. You have stressful moments in your life. We all do. They come all day long, and you have no plan, so you're back to old patterns. We have to plan ahead. We have to recognize we are simple creatures. Our brain is just running on autopilot all the time. You have to map out how to navigate December triggers because they're going to be the same triggers in January. I want you to recognize there is no difference in December than there is to January in the amount of struggle that it will be to make these to not drink, to make good food choices. It's the same. People always want to wait until there's this easy time in the calendar to make change and start fresh. It doesn't exist. Your brain will find reasons that are equally as hard to drink, to sabotage yourself. It's just how the brain works, right? So plan ahead and be really intentional. And again, this goes back to those environments. If you are continually putting yourself in environments that are really triggering and really difficult and expecting your brain to somehow perform some other action, it's too heavy a lift. Your brain isn't that strong yet. You have to exercise it. You have to practice, okay? So that you can have a plan. Visualize how you are going to get through sticky situations. Create a plan. I want you to sit down and be like, okay, I have to go to this holiday party. I can't get out of it. How am I going to handle it? What am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to pack my non-alcoholic drinks. I am going to maybe eat ahead of time, have a healthy meal before I go to the party so that I don't overeat on sugar or junk or whatever it is I know I don't want to eat. Um, Maybe I'm going to offer to help out in the kitchen so I stay busy during awkward moments. Maybe I'm going to pack some gum or dark chocolate or some sort of good smelly thing in my purse. Maybe I'm going to make a commitment to go explore during the party. I used to never do this while I was drinking. I used to stay in one spot all night and maybe hit the bathroom, right? I would stay drinking in one spot. When I'm not drinking, I actually go I'm going to go walk around. Let's go see outside. Let's go check things out. You know, my eyes are open. I'm taking in so much more information and I have choices. I don't have to stay stuck. I can go. You can peace out whenever you want. Always have an exit strategy and don't feel bad about it. Feel like, hey, I got to get to bed because I've got big plans for the morning and I'm going to feel good. All right. And I know a lot of times people are nervous about cutting out or not being funny or not being the same, not being as much fun because they're not drinking. I want to also remind you that, maybe you're not that important. Part of being everybody expects me to be more fun and to drink. And by the way, no one's thinking about you. They are only thinking about themselves, And I remember this moment dawned on me a long time ago. So I was so nervous about how people would interpret me as being a non-drinker that, I just lived in my head the whole time. I was like, oh, they're judging me and they think I'm not funny and they think I'm uptight or whatever it is. And I realized no one gives a shit about me. They're in their own head. They're doing their own thing, especially if they're drinking. They are living in their own little world. Okay. You're just a blip and it's not important whether or not you're drinking to them. It's not as important as you think it is. I should say that. Maybe you're inspiring them secretly on some subconscious level. I know that's the case for a lot of people. You get all different types of people when you're not drinking that you encounter. There's people that say inappropriate, rude, disrespectful things. And then there's people that you are quietly inspiring. And there's a lot more of those than you know. And they come out of the woodwork when you least expect it. And you will be surprised how many connections you can make when you start to create that opportunity for people. So they say, there's somebody else not drinking. I don't really want to drink either. I don't really feel good when I drink either. Oh my gosh, there's someone else. Oh my gosh, let's talk about it. Let's connect with those people, find those people, all right? Because they're there and there's more people than you know that also want to be on this path. All right. The next one, low confidence and belief. This is super important. This is a really important factor, again, that I assess when I'm working with a client in their assessing their readiness to change. Do they believe they can actually change? Do you believe in this future self enough to overcome all of these mental roadblocks? Okay. Because if you're just like committed to this version of yourself that can't do this, if you're just like, I can't, why can't I do this? Then you're not ready. You have to actually believe and feel worthy enough to do this. All right. Action builds belief, not the other way around. You have to step into this going, I know this is going to be hard, but I can do it. And I know this person exists. Okay. You have to envision it. You have to believe in it and you have to continue to hold that person in your head, that future version of yourself. Again, you don't need to feel ready. You just need to act and you just have to cultivate belief in that future self. It's so powerful knowing that this person is waiting for you and it's just a matter of time before you become her or him. All right. So, next part of this are these are your future self truths. These are the things that are going to help you rewire the way we think about change, identity, and the future version of ourselves that we're building here. All right. Number one, your future self is already talking to you, and she is the best leader. She is the best guide. Okay. What does she want you to know today? I want you to jot this down in your journal. What would my future self thank me for doing this week? Right? What is she hoping that you start planting seeds for? What is something small, something really intentional that you can do that your future self is going to benefit from? Okay? Listen to that future self, that person that you've cultivated that in your mind, that you've envisioned. What is stopping you from doing something small to become her today? Next, you become what you repeat. Every choice you make in December is either a seed or a weed, right? If you can go one alcohol-free night in December on a challenging social night, right? That is momentum. That is not martyrdom. It's not like, I did it. Like it's like, yeah, I did it. How did that feel? How can I capitalize on this momentum? Because again, you're either building the snowball of positivity in your health and your mental health and your physical health and your gut health, or you're tearing it down. You're going one direction or the other. All right? So become what you repeat. Small actions add up. Next, identity comes first, not later. Goes back to that identity thing we talked about. You don't try to become her. You practice being her now. I want you to switch. Again, this is this little mental switch. I'm not trying to be healthy. I am someone who prioritizes her health. Notice the difference in how that feels. I'm trying. I'm trying to be healthy right now. I'm trying to eat less. I'm trying to not drink. When you say try, it's like you're leaving this door open, this little wiggle room of like, well, if it doesn't work out, I tried. It's like, no, like I am. I am someone who doesn't drink. I am someone who prioritizes her health, right? It's so different. It's like all of a sudden it just feels stronger, firmer, and confident instead of I'm trying, right? That just sounds flimsy and like there's holes in it. Like, okay, it's all this room for error instead of like, no, I am rock solid. I am someone who prioritizes her health. And that right there, that doesn't align. All right? So it's easy. It's easy because you believe in the information that you've learned that, like, hey, this is not good for me and I am on a different path, right? Let that belief in yourself and the belief in the information that you know what's right for you. And these choices are easy because you are someone who prioritizes her health. And that's a no brainer, right? Number four, environments matter more than willpower. If you want to change your life, you change your default environments. One little tip here is to actually rearrange your physical spaces. I want to rearrange your fridge, get the booze out. I want you to maybe you have a bar cart, put it away. Why do you need that out? Why is alcohol decorative? Do you ever think about that? Remember all the guys in college who just like used to line their rooms with like liquor bottles? I even think I did that at one point, and I'm like, yeah, like trophies, right? How weird is that? Why do we do that? My husband did this up until like he kept saving these like tequila bottles. I was like, do we have to like put these on display? Like, I get it, they're pretty like pottery and cool bottles and stuff, but it's like that's a lot of tequila. I don't know. Very strange. Also, let's rearrange your calendar. How do we make space for the future self that has a different lifestyle, right? Instead of all of the social events involving drinking, can those social events shift to daytime activities, workouts with friends, coffee, um, you know, sporting events? I don't know. It's challenging. Don't get me wrong. And it's okay to just opt out entirely. I give you permission to hibernate and to stay home and to create new holiday traditions that don't involve alcohol, that don't involve substances. What can you do differently? Right? Don't let it feel like a sacrifice. Let it feel inspiring. Let it feel like, whoa, I get to like recreate it all. What do I want to do? What do I want it to be? Right? Instead of just numbing and distracting ourselves and going through these old motions, like you get to start over and like rebuild what you want the holiday to be, what you want your January to be, what you want your social life to be like. You start it. If there's not anything that you want to do, you make it yourself. You design it, right? Rearrange your environments to support who you're becoming. This is huge. All right. Future self steps. Let's lock these in. These are simple but powerful steps you can take right now to create momentum, not burnout, not pressure before January. Clarify your vision. Number one, write a 1-paragraph snapshot of your future self. Okay? I want you to reflect on how good you know you can feel, right? I want you to describe how good it feels to wake up with confidence, with energy, with motivation, with like inspiration, being able to look people in the eyes, being able to like feel good and not snap at your kids or your partner, showing up at work, being like, hey, I actually like, I've got some good stuff to contribute today because I'm in a good mood and I've been sleeping and I'm been working out and I've been eating clean and I just feel better, right? Get really crystal clear on that vision. Number two, set a micro goal. I want you to choose an alcohol-free window before New Year's Eve. Maybe it's just 2 days. Maybe it's 3 days. Between now and New Year's, I want you to carve out a little challenge for yourself and commit to it. I want you to test the waters. I want you to focus on gut health, sleep, mood, not restriction, not perfection. Focus on how amazing what you're doing, the choices you're making are for your gut health, your sleep, and your mood. Pick a window of time, commit to it. Email me. If you know me, if you have my email or if you want to reach out to me over Instagram, share with me that you listen to this podcast and I want to hear your future vision, your micro goal. Okay? I'm here to support you. I would love to hear from you. Next, create a circle of support, an accountability partner, a sober, curious support group, or a coach. Surround yourself with people who get it. Okay? Number 4, shift from sacrifice to power. Here's the reframe. I am not missing out. I am opting in to clarity, rest, and joy. The real costs of overindulging are fatigue, mood swings, resentment. Be real about this. Be real about what you're choosing. You think you're choosing fun and relaxation, stress relief. Is that really true? I want you, if you've listened to this enough, you know that's not true. You know it all comes at an extreme cost to your health, to your mood. I want you to pay attention. When you don't drink, you are opting in to clarity, rest, and joy. Number 5, take one aligned action today. Ask, what would my future self do today to set that tone? Right? How is she living her life? Why can't you do one thing like that today? Right? Here's an example. Skip the drink. Take a walk. Journal. Set a boundary. Right? Avoid an environment. Create a new environment that inspires you, that motivates you, that's exciting. All right? Again, this isn't about perfection. If the holidays are already chaotic, that's okay. I get it. Mine are too. Take the pressure off needing to perform change and just plant seeds. Let this season be about gentle shifts. And it starts mentally, right? This isn't self-punishment. Start small, but start now. Your future self isn't waiting for you in January. She's watching you today. You are her. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. DM me on Instagram your future self vision. Or better yet, tell a friend what you're stepping into before the new year. Okay? As always, I am with you. You got this. Thanks for tuning in to Cheat Code Nutrition. If today's episode sparked some curiosity about what your genes are trying to tell you, grab my free guide, 5 Genes You Should Know to Optimize Your Health. It's linked for you in the show notes. And if you're ready to skip the guesswork and start working with your actual blueprint, check out my genetic nutrition coaching offer, also linked in the show notes. Your next level of health might just be one test away. Until next time, stay curious, stay nourished, and don't forget, your body's not broken. It just speaks a different language. Let's learn to speak it fluently.